Good evening, Inkspilled Glimmers. It is a great day. Yesterday we had big announcement. We're super eager to talk to you about it. But first of all, is everything on fire? Is the game failing? Are we doomed?
Nah.
Okay. Seriously, you might see online lots of doom and gloom posts, people sending collections, people like freaking out. I think we got mostly very positive news yesterday. I'm super hyped about the information we got. Is everything perfect? No. But I think we have information that says everything's going in the right direction moving forward. So, without further ado, let's jump into the stream that happened. 3 hour long stream for those like me who listen to it, to the whole thing, either live or afterwards. I didn't see that it was starting at 1 p.m. Well, that the announcements were at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. So I took my lunch at 12 and got to enjoy the pre-show.
Yeah, and I got baited too. Like I saw it afterwards. Like the announcement said, show starting at 9, announcement starting at 10. Because my schedule was moved around. One of my colleagues was hurt, so I had to start my shift early, and I missed the whole announcements. I couldn't listen to them with sound. I had to re-listen to the whole thing tonight during
Yeah.
the end of my shift to, you know, homework and stuff.
To be real though, both the pre-show and the post-show were done with Rochelle, Greg Tito, which is the new director of communications, as well as JDZ Quest, who, like, I gotta say, super hyped about the guy. Like, he's another content creator, fairly, like, new to me at least. I don't know for the general population, but really nice discovery, really hype guy, really entertaining guy.
People seem to
And
people seem to know him in the Twitch chat.
yeah,
Like he's a Twitch streamer that makes a lot of sense.
and two things really to remember from this pre-show. First of all, Greg is amazing at pulling cards. First pack he opened, he got an Enchanted Tamatoa. We're told it wasn't seeded. I tend to believe them, but it's still incredible luck. I'm jealous.
Yeah. Also, I'm sure that has something to do with like the mug on the playmat.
Yeah, we'll get to the mug, but the second important thing is we now have a formal, official invitation to produce content. If anyone was doubting of our legitimacy, now we have proper invitation. So does everyone else. They basically encouraged everyone to make content if they want. Welcome people in the space. It was a nice moment, to be completely fair.
It was a cool message. Like I got to listen to that just before starting my shift. It was the last thing I could like have the audio on for the from the pre-show, and like I was like, that's a cool message to send. Like especially like to people like you and me, Nick. Like we have been doing this for almost a year now,
Yep.
and we're doing it like for fun. We're doing it out of passion, out of love. We don't have like any financial motives. You know, we're not doing this
Yeah, I
for
know.
money. We just love engaging with people that tell us like we love seeing you playing on Mondays. We love seeing you cast the news of the game, like the meta game and whatnot. So
Yeah, we do it for the love of the game and the people who love the game with us. So it was nice to see that love shared, and the message from GDZ was super cool. And then you touched about it. We had to deal with MugGate, which Greg had his super fancy Lorcana mug. By the way, I'm sure a lot of people did not listen to the post show. It was revealed how you can get that very, very unique Lorcana mug for
how I want
yourself.
one.
You buy a blank mug and you stick a sticker on it, because that's all it is.
Okay, cause like I have that sticker, but it's like ye small. His
Yeah,
like
I don't know how they got the big sticker, but it's literally just a sticker on a blank mug.
okay, because I have the small one from the championship, but
Yeah, yeah. So that's how you get the mug. But yeah, his mug was on the playmat. Some people were freaking out a bit. I'd like to defend Greg personally on this. I don't personally put my drinks on my playmats, but I don't think anyone has the right to give him flack when, as he was touring the office afterwards, we can clearly see that a lot of his coworkers are using their playmats as mouse pads, which is not really any better than using it as like a coffee mug stand. So don't worry, people. They're all that bad.
To be fair, like it's not that as if I was doing it. If I was doing, you remember on what I play, people. I play on the Rapunzel mat and on the Cinderella mat. Those are like several $100 mats. I don't put mugs on that.
No, no, no. But joking aside, there was a lot of energy starting this stream. Greg is an amazing communicator, a guy that is super nice to listen to. I will really encourage you guys to go watch the official stream if you can. He is really nice. And the show started with a big tour of the office, welcoming everyone to come see the show. It was vibrant, is how I would describe it.
I agree. Like I had a lot of fun just like watching him be, like I was like super focused on like the competitive news because my background, but it's always fun to have someone that you feel has the same passion as you do for the game, the news, the whatever, like the medium. Like he was just happy to be there.
And right here we're seeing him inviting Elaine Chase to the event, which is a good thing because she talked for quite a bit of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they joined him on the couch where we can see very clearly the two main things we learned during this event. The first one is that they were in Seattle, I think.
I'm still doubtful. Like they have just mentioned it about like 250 times, right?
And the second one, hey, still here. We're good. But
also,
go ahead.
The Lorcana pillow.
Yeah, the Lorcana.
I want that too.
Yeah, we need more merch, guys. Greg, do something if you can hear this.
Get onto it. Like I have the shirt. I need more.
Don't touch. We need the merch. But no, we're not going to go through the event in a point-by-point basis of how they did it. We want to talk to you guys about the main things in terms of importance from our perspective. We'll tell you right ahead. Bunch of cards got spoiled, both during the event, afterwards. We're not going to go into card review right now. We're not going to touch on them tonight. That's for another time, but super hyped about the cards. There's a lot of really interesting things coming out, a lot of powerful cards, a lot of build-around cards.
We'll be super happy like to talk to you about it like on our live streams on Mondays and whatnot. Like I cannot go 1 hour without seeing a new card. The thing is like we'll address it when it comes because if we start talking about the cards, this video will be like 3 times
4
long.
hours. Yeah.
But
I think the main thing we want to talk about, the main thing people were concerned about, the thing you brought up for the past several weeks and months, we got info about the Worlds.
Finally.
So Worlds will be June 28th, 29th at Disney World and will be a private event, so only for the competitors.
Yeah. I have to say, I still have to comment like a bit sadly. Like I know you have more info about it that you will share with us afterward. I just have to kind of expose the point of view of many people. Like I've seen a lot of comments like, "Oh, I'm bummed that I cannot be in Walt Disney World while the World is happening," because like there were talks about like a bigger event of like maybe other ways to get a whole new world that we'll touch upon afterwards. But yeah, people wanted to join in on the fun, and it won't be possible because they want to give that very cool, I want to say, experience to the competitors, and
Yeah, and while this is what we first got, like, oh, we want to make this a VIP experience for the players and all of that, There's an article that came out yesterday with those releases done by the gamer, and I'll link the article in the description below, where they go into details about what happened to Worlds. Why is it a private event now? What happened to Disney to Lorcana Quest that was supposed to arrive? And what transpired is something we've known for a bit, but not in that much detail. Like, we knew Ravensburger wasn't
Ready.
ready for the level of success the game got at launch. It even was mentioned during the stream. What we might not have known is that all of organized play up until last October, November was done by one person. That is, one person dealing with leagues across the world, dealing with the DLCs, and with planning the worlds,
Which is
all on the
baffling.
shoulders of one person.
Which is baffling to me. Like I knew they were underprepared. I knew it from the get go. Talking with like heads at PPG, I had some info from Fanfinity. Like I had some like insider info about it, but like I I wasn't in the known about the fact that it was one person at RB
So
doing everything.
all credits that we've had, everything we've had so far, done by like one person coordinating PPG, coordinating Fanfinity, making all of that happen. Like, much love to that one individual at Ravensburger who handled all of that. They now have a team of 5 to 6 people plus communications that's on Greg's team that they built a team around as well. So now they're definitely getting ready to offer something more structured in the future. But when
More
they,
on par. Like I want to
yeah,
say more on par with what we I want to say deserve because like we showed a tremendous amount of love for the project too. Like infinite amount of love to the person that was coordinating it. Also infinite amount of love to the community that responded so strongly. You know.
and it's funny you use that word because the reason we're not getting open worlds is because we wouldn't have gotten what we deserved as fans. And it's the point, like they mentioned it in the article, they sat together, they asked each other, like, okay, we've built a team, we've brought people along, we want to do this before year two ends, basically, so before August. Are we able to pull up something to the level of what fans want to see in that time? And they sadly had to come to the conclusion that they couldn't.
So
And you feel in the article how like heartbreaking of a decision that was for them as well. And I get them. Like,
yeah, because this is hard. Like you know you're disappointing many people and like I know it's probably the more. I'm not gonna go into the whole sociological and financial standpoint of it, but like you have to be a bit more uh, at ease with financial and obligation to be able to go out of nowhere to Disney World just to enjoy the celebration, right? But it's it's still I want to say like you it has to deliver,
yeah.
and if it wouldn't have delivered, like it would have been a stain on the face of competitive play. So I
And what
have
we
to,
do know right now is, so sorry, go ahead.
and all I have to say is like trust the process. It's so weird to say, but like and it's kind of disheartening, but still like trust the process. I was one to be disappointed of not being able to go to Worlds to cheer on Pat on Pierre Marc, but it's better this way.
Yeah, and I think that if there's one thing to take from Greg and Stephen Cooper, who we see here as appointment, is that they want to make these things work. They have a lot of experience. They like we haven't talked a lot about who Greg and Stephen are, but they're people with loads of experience behind them. Greg used to handle like communications for Dungeons and Dragons up until recently. Like, they know what they're doing, and they're definitely bringing stuff in the right direction. We can see that Ravensburger's leadership is taking the steps they need. It just doesn't move as fast as we would like with Disney and everything being involved.
But like it's still moving, and that's
Yeah.
the good thing about it. Like it's moving forward,
Speaking of
and
moving forward, yeah, yeah, go.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I know
Speaking of
where
moving
you.
forward, uh, one of the things that was announced is that at the Lorcana quest that was supposed to happen around Worlds and everything, we were going to be able to get the whole new world non-foil promo. We don't know how yet because they haven't finalized it yet, but we do know that there's going to be a way to get the whole new world non-foil promo.
God
They
bless.
told
God
us
bless.
to talk to our local game shops, stay put for now, but be on the lookout. There's going to be information about how to get it. But look at how gorgeous that is.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like that's probably one of the reasons I was most bummed of not being able to make Worlds as a competitor. Like I wanted that card. Like it looks so amazing. I've been notorious for playing a lot of Whole New World. In
I
in
want that one.
yeah. So
Hopefully, it gets distributed around the world through most game shops, and they find a way for us to get it.
yeah,
We'll
like
see how that turns out. I'm really hopeful.
I'll definitely be pushing as much as possible for our store to have it, and I hope many stores do the same. Like, encourage your local game store if they're able, depending on the possibility of the thing, to get these promos to be able to host an event that might be related to those promos. Like, it's worth it. It's look at that.
Which brings us to who's going to be broadcasting it, because it's a closed event for players, but it turns out it's also a fairly closed event for casters. So the event is going to be broadcasted by Rebecca, JDZ Quest, Brendan Liam, and the only European representative, Baker. And that has gotten a lot of people talking since the announcements. A lot of people are sad that not everyone could be invited. Some people are really heartbroken not to be able to be there as well, especially with the worlds being closed. Um, what do you think of the lineup?
I think it's a fairly good lineup. I would probably have had one more European caster in there, just for the fact that like I have to recognize something that was kind of brought up in the pre-show. European content creation and like casting was very strong. Fanfinity did like I'm sorry to say it this way. Fanfinity did such a better job than PPG at organizing the DLCs. Like I saw what people got to experience in Europe. Having known that, I would have gone to at least like one DLC in Europe. I would have just used the money from another one to try and get there because like they were going all out with like decors, with like setting,
Yeah.
like it was a big thing. Like and nothing to slam on PPG. They did a great job for the amount of preparation that they had up until Continentals.
Yep.
You know my gripes with Continentals. I'm not gonna go back into this, but yeah, like maybe one more caster from Europe, and I'm not trying to wink at it. Like I'm just gonna go ahead and name it. Like I'm gonna name the elephant in the room. Most people are disappointed that Spessy was not
I
invited.
mean, Spacey and Baker have been up until now like a duo of casters. They've casted together pretty much all DLCs, and they're a really good duo of casters. They riff on each other really well. The synergy between how they approach it is really good, and their commentary was always like top tier. So yeah, so I know Spacey himself is fairly disappointed by not going. I know Baker addressed it as well. Like we don't have the details of why they didn't choose to, like why they only chose to bring Baker. I feel it's well deserved. He's a great caster
Mm.
and he's good.
I,
I might have made space for for Spessy if I'm being honest, but you know,
yeah, and anyway, if we're being honest, like I would have made space for maybe like two other people. You know, like Inkspilled Glimmers could have been there. They're pretty good at it. I'm just joking around.
next year.
We'll try.
But no, like so, worlds they're happening a month and a half from now, give or take. We're definitely going to be watching it, commenting on it. attending watch parties if they're happening, or events surrounding the worlds if they're happening. We really can't wait to have more info on that. But until then, we have to go back to the level of competition we can attend, and that's set championships, right?
Right.
And we got some information on set championships for the few upcoming sets.
Yeah.
Some reveals.
Just before we delve into that, I think we didn't have a point on DLCs. I want to touch upon it real quickly.
Yep, true.
There's like, just because I had that conversation with my Showbook group chat, they were like, "Oh, maybe there will be DLCs in August or something." Like, they addressed in the stream that we'll get more on DLCs at Worlds. And also, I went back and listened this evening when I was doing my homework. They decided to line up DLCs with rotations. So do not
We'll
expect.
get on rotation in a moment, but basically the DLC seasons will last 1 year each, starting with the release in late October, late August, early September, ending in the summer. So that's the way it's going to go moving forward. And yeah, we're going to get more details on the dates for the next DLCs at
Yeah.
Worlds in a month and a half.
So, like I told my Showbook group chat, do not expect a DLC before like September. Like, September would be like really well lined up with rotation. We will touch upon that later,
Yep.
but don't expect it earlier than that. I don't think it's gonna come.
It's not. They made that much
Yeah.
really clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, so set championships next set. Jafar, the big bad.
Yeah, the big bad of the set,
High Sultan of Lorcana.
they went the same path as in Ursula's Return, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of callbacks with like the palace heist and whatnot. So for set championship, it's only fitting that we get the big bad being the promo for set champs.
And it's also, like we said, we're not going to touch on cards. We're not going to discuss cards at large. But since we're showcasing this one, I have to say it's a very interesting effect.
Yeah, it's a value engine for sure.
Yeah.
It synergizes well with the Jafar we got in this set, the purple steel Jafar that interacts with illusions. This one too, like one brings them back to hand. One, if you discard them, you play them for free. Like, you see how the gears turn and turn and turn into that deck.
And he is a schemer. He makes the gears turn quite a bit. The lore for this set, also for those interested in lore, seems to be super nice. We learned a little bit of it. We learned that he reforged the crown, and he has reshaped Arcasia's island into its own. And from what we've seen of the spoilers so far, he's reshaped it for real. There's some really cool callbacks to this set in the next set, including Arcasia's tower itself now being like the Jafar's dragon, Jafar's snake and everything. It's gorgeous. Lots of fun to have there.
Very nice.
So that's next set. But we also got the promo for set 8.
Which is for set 9, you mean?
For set 9, sorry, yeah. For set 9.
Which is a
Fabled.
big one.
It's a big one. And it came with an announcement that is really dear to my heart. So we're going to talk in a little bit about rotation, reprints, all of that. I'm sure people have heard a bit about it by now. But the next set, set 9, is going to have, if my computer lets me get... There we go. Maleficent, Monstrous Dragon, in an enchanted form.
So the I want to say one of the most iconic cards from the start of the game. You have to remember that D23 promo we first saw
Yeah.
before the game even released, like, and now getting like the enchanted set champ promo treatment. So gorgeous, so gorgeous.
It is amazing. There's going to be a non-set promo with the normal frame of it as well.
But with this image,
Yeah, but with this image, like a framed down version of this image, and it looks good as well. Like it's not that amazing, but it still looks pretty good. And for people not able to get their hands on set one, maybe not having their play sets of Maleficent, that's going to be a good way to get it.
Yeah, for sure. Even I want some of these like full art Maleficent. Like I've had my Maleficent since like day one, but
Oh,
these
I'd
are
take a
so.
play set of those.
Well, I like I wouldn't mind having like a second playset to not have them to not have to swap them around.
Yeah, and that brings us to the announcement that they made surrounding that. We're probably starting on set 9 not going to see current set promos for set championships because they've realized some of the cards that they put in set championships have been a bit more miss than hit. Let's say it that way.
Lackluster. Lackluster is a
Yeah,
good
I'm
term.
looking at you, Mirabelle. And they've decided to take the time to sit down with the competitive team, with the design team, and to come up with more impactful set champ cards moving forward. So expect to see some powerful cards, powerful playable, make their way into set champ starting set 9 with Maleficent and down the road.
And
So
I'm
very, very good news in my personal opinion.
I'm so happy for that announcement. Like I've been the one like if you've talked to me about set champ like even remotely in the past year or so, you know what my opinion was. Like it like we in the first set champ we got a great promo that was super desirable. People were and like also it was super limited. It was 2 weeks instead of a full month worth of
And top
tournaments.
4 instead of top 8, and like,
Yeah, and everything. But you know, it was super desirable, and it went from a card from set one. I was like, okay, so second set champ, we're gonna get a card from set two, maybe, which would have been like amazing. I don't know, like Beast Tragic Hero, Mufasa, any one of the like leftover cards like legendaries that didn't get the enchanted treatment in set two. But then they jumped right ahead to Ursula, which already had an enchanted in the set, which seemed a bit off. It's fine because it's like the super iconic art of the Ursula's quest and whatnot. But
yeah,
now you get like what I've been saying. Like I wouldn't be surprised that after set 9 for set 10's set championship we get a card from set 2. Hopefully,
imagine a Maui shark enchant like set champ enchanted.
or even like you can scale it down a little bit and still be amazing. We were
Oh
talking
yeah,
about it Monday. Strength of Raging Fire as an enchanted with like
I mean,
you know any
Pete
other
Games
frame.
referee. Can you
Yeah,
imagine
yeah.
an enchanted Pete?
Like there are a lot of like lower rarity good cards that you could get the enchanted treatment and it would be just amazing to like max rarity your deck.
Yeah. No, we're gonna see that. I'm super excited to see what they come with, but this is like they've mentioned that they are listening to the community. They're looking on Discord, they're looking on Reddit, they're looking on Facebook. They take the pulse, they hear us, and a lot of what was announced yesterday is about how they have listened, and here is how it's showing. That's a lot of the communication that was done. This is one of them. People have been complaining about the lackluster cards. They're showing what it's going to be like. It's two set in advance. They didn't have reasons to show the set champ, but they wanted to say, no, look, we've listened. We're going to come up with higher impact cards, starting with this. So the message is really good that they listen to the community and that our voices are heard. So that is fantastic to me.
Mm,
And
very
you
happy.
mentioned a little something, and that scales into it. Set 9 is also going to be the point where we're going to have the dreaded word.
The
The reason why people are
rotation.
selling off their collection. Why the game is going to fail.
The
Rotation.
it's also like a taboo word here in Quebec. Like people hate it, and I'm talking about Magic. Like it's actually a word that scare people like so
Rotation's a
much.
scary word. Like, I've seen a lot of, oh, my my collection's going to be like worth nothing, and what am I gonna do? And yada yada. I'm no longer gonna buy full play sets. I'm only gonna buy singles. It's all fine. It's valid. Like those are really valid
Concerns.
concerns and like anxieties to have. But the truth is, I think it's gonna be amazing in terms of how it shapes up the meta, and in a lot of other ways. But let's jump into it.
Yeah, just before we jump
Yeah,
into it, like the full on of it, if you need some kind of validation about rotation being good, uh, if you are familiar with Kevin Anctil, like I'm name dropping here. Kevin Anctil is just like a genius, a card game genius. Whatever he touches, he performs like. He was with us at Continentals for Lorcana. He did really well in Las Vegas, and he said like rotation couldn't come early enough. He was very happy for that, even though he's not playing the game as much nowadays. He said like it's an amazing thing for the game. They are going the right way with it. They should have like they are doing right to implement it when they do.
yeah. And basically, what's gonna happen as Fabled releases, the first four chapters of the game are going to phase out from Core Constructed. Core Constructed is the format that's played currently at local leagues, at Store Champs, at
DLC.
DLCs, and at World. Uh, so, yeah, these first chapters are going out of existence from Core. Some of the cards are going to be reprinted. So, we've already seen Maleficent Dragon. We're going to talk about a few others. Some of the cards are not going away through rotations. Others will be. There's going to be reprints here and there. We've already seen like a reprint in set 8 announced today. So there's already one card being reprinted this set at least that is making a comeback from set 1. So that's going to be valid for at least another year in the game. They want to keep it around. So don't freak out on your collection yet. We do not know what is going to make rotation, what's not. And even if it's not valid in set 9, it might make a return in set 10, 11, 12, 13. It's like they're always allowed to reprint a card, and your old versions are going to be valid at that moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna give an example to people that are probably less familiar with how these things work. Like, I'm not gonna take a card that's super valuable, but in Magic the Gathering, like there's a card that was an MVP around 2014, 2015. It was printed in 2014. It rotated out in 2016, and now it was printed back in 2023, and it's still legal in standard. So like we had a long gap of like 6 years without that card in standard, and now it came back, and like value wise it's irrelevant, but still you get to play again with that card down the
Or you
road.
start talking about like a certain lady with a shady past of pacts with demons and stuff like that.
No, but almost. It's even a longer lapse.
Oh,
Liliana
okay.
was legal in 2011, and she was reprinted in 2023. I was talking about Monastery Swiftspear,
Oh, Sister. Yeah, 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 yeah.
which is a common that was super, super, super played. Like it was a benchmark of every red deck. So
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. Like, don't cry about your Rapunzel if she doesn't get reprinted Fable. Maybe she'll get reprinted in set 13, and it will still be as good as she was back in set 1. And you haven't lost anything by owning the card.
And there's still ways to play it. Like first of all, they mentioned heavily, and that is the truest, that this is only true of sanctioned events in stores and in competition. You can play with whatever cards you want at home. No one's gonna police you on that. If you want to play with your friends, with your family, use all the cards you want, abuse them.
And
Or there's gonna be Infinity constructed,
yeah,
which is what we call an eternal format, so a format where cards do not rotate out. That's coming with set 9 as well.
yeah. So it's gonna be your way to still be playing with all the cards you loved from set 1, 2, 3, 4. Once they rotate out of core constructed, Uh, it's it's as of now what they've announced about it. It's gonna be more along the lines of being featured in like side events, in DLCs. It can be the format you play at League, depending on what your local game store decides. If everybody want to be playing Infinity at the weekly League, more power to them. But that's the
And if
thing.
there's enough people, you might even get like two events a week, one event of core, one event of infinity.
Yeah,
That can happen. Like Magic has what, four nights, like four, three or four in certain stores per week.
depending,
Yeah,
depend,
depending on the
depending
popularity
on
of the formats.
yeah. Like if you look at our store, there's actually only one night where it's non-magic out of the whole week. So you're like you have 5 days you can play magic, sometimes six with uh, our more competitive day, and the only day you cannot play magic is the day we're running every other game, which is like Star Wars,
Lorcana.
Lorcana, and everything. So you have choices, and if Lorcana continue to just like develop and show the amazing support from the community, nothing's gonna hold stores from hosting more nights of play. And then you get to play all the cards you love from old sets. You get to practice the more competitive format on another night, and everyone will find something that they like.
And you get to see your old friends back. Because guess what? It's a separate ban list in Infinity.
Oh, are we talking about Hiram and Fortisphere coming back?
I mean, they haven't said they're going to be banned on day one.
Is Bucky gonna get unerrata?
I don't know. Could be.
We'll see when.
On errated, I'd be surprised since they printed the errated version and distributed them and everything. But all that to say, cards that will be banned in one format might not be in the other. So there's definitely opportunities there to play different varieties of cards, play more powerful card or decks in Infinity, play more varied decks in Core Constructed, have an environment where newer players have a smaller card pool to worry about and to try to purchase. But also, from a buyer standpoint, I will say, for all the people saying like my collection is gonna devalue and everything, yeah, some cards are gonna lose value on rotation, and it also means that some cards that are core constructed valid probably might not fetch as high of a price down the road. But as far as affordability goes for the game, it's a good thing. And for the collectors chasing their really rare cards, stay tuned. We have something about that in a minute.
Yeah, and lastly, like I was theorizing about this in our pre-show. Like we are talking just like shooting ideas at each other, and I was saying like if they take a page out of other TCGs where you can print anthology sets of like if Rapunzel never gets back into core constructed, but is still a powerhouse in Infinity, they might just print an anthology set with Rapunzel as the headliner, maybe print her as an enchanted or whatnot. They'll find ways to make you still excited about those old cards down the road.
Yeah, and there's been commitment from um, what's his name, Stephen Cooper, that there's going to be competitive support down the road for Infinity. So while for at least next year, Infinity is relegated to side events and stores that are going to want to run it, the door is open for proper competitive events in Infinity Constructed to happen. So really good news there. I'm personally super excited to play rotation because right now we don't know anything that's going to rotate back in, but we can already look at what the pool looks like out of rotation and what it brings to the decks and the new challenges of building around it and the new tools that are going to be required. And it's going to be a mega shakeup. All the
Yeah.
people clamoring like ban the bird and ban Pirate's Life and all of that, like by default, they're all going to be banned September.
Well, some of them, like Pirate's Life is a set 6 card, it's still gonna be around, but.
4. Sing together.
Oh, sorry, it's Smaui Shark that's set 6.
Yeah.
Haha.
Pirate's Life's rotating out.
Hmm. Interesting. You lose Maui Shark's best friend.
Yeah. So definitely, like, I expect Be Prepared or something similar to Be Prepared to still be in the format. You kind of need those
Key
big tools.
pieces.
Like, you need the Grab Your Sword or a Grab Your Sword equivalent for Steel to be able to function. There's going to be something there to fill that role. But for other tools that are more support tools, I mean, nothing tells us Beast like getting reprinted.
Mm. And that's the thing. Like they said that about half of Fabled is reprints. About that, like I've
Have
heard
they said
that.
that?
I've heard about it in the chat.
Yeah, I've
So
seen
I
rumors. I don't think I've seen anything confirmed
so I've
on
seen it
the.
in the Twitch chat. So I don't know if it's just because I missed the audio cue of them saying that it's gonna be a heavy reprint set. But
We'll see. Like I haven't heard anything on how heavy of a reprint set. This is the first one, so it might be. But given that we're already seeing reprints in set 8, it's very possible that it's going to be spread out into more sets as well.
yeah, I also think like the rumor goes along the lines of like the first set of the year will be more reprint heavy just to kind of keep a cohesion on core constructed. But like I kind of missed that cue, so I'm just shooting it kind of in the air
Like
right
I
now.
I didn't, and I don't remember hearing anything like that. But keep us posted in the comment if we're wrong and if they mentioned it. Especially if you have like a time code for the stream, that would be amazing. But if
Yeah.
not, I'll go rewatch it. But that brings us to the next point, which is coming down a few weeks from now.
Greg's face.
Yes, Greg's face. So, by the way, side note, I talked earlier about how expressive Greg is. The faces he's made throughout the show are just priceless. And when I was pulling the screenshots for this, I tried to take like all of Greg's best faces because he's such a communicator through his nonverbal. But no, Reign of Jafar is just around the corner. There was a lot of discussion about it. Bambi joining the sets of properties that are going to be in. Showcase here, Palace Heist, getting a full box with deck boxes in it, a full cardboard playmat, like a proper board game experience to it, basically, which is really, really nice.
Oh yeah, compared to Ursula, which was a mess to just keep together and whatnot. Like I'm using boxes from other games to keep all of these together,
Yeah.
which is
We're
not great.
they talked a lot like when they got to Reign of Jafar, it was mostly to showcase new card, reveal, spoilers, all of that. As we said earlier, we're gonna look into that into our set review. We're not gonna dive into them right now. We saw the first Enchanted Jasmine, which looks really good. We've since seen one more. I think we've seen Bambi,
Yep.
but a lot of cool things. The bigger news, as far as I'm concerned, as someone who plays leagues and who organizes leagues, we're gonna get more promos. So this set, the promos were split between like, oh, this one's a buy a box. This one was a pre-release promo that you had a little more of, so you could distribute a few during the league. And then we had two real league promos left for distribution. With the next set, we're gonna have the pre-release, the buy a box promo, and three league promos, and they were all already shown to us.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna show them right here, but if anyone's really interested, the pre-release promo is Pull the Lever with Krunk and Isma. The buy a box promo is the Ember Ruby Minnie Mouse. That is a very one mechanically unique card that I really love the design of, so super happy about that one. And the weekly play promos are going to be the new Lady, the new Aladdin, and the new Patch. So, cards to come, but definitely some nice little playable cards. That patch is going to be really good for the puppy deck. Probably not making it a tier 1 deck, but it's a good addition to it. It's a good 1-drop for the deck. The Aladdin, probably one of the hardest cards to remove if you're not in Ruby that I've seen so far. Really, really interesting card as well for some Grandpappy strategies and stuff like that. And without spoiling too much, let's just say that the Chernadog deck is getting a ton of tools this set.
A lot of love. Like I've seen a lot of cards during the day, and I was just like, "Wow, Chernadog is getting like scary."
And I want to go on a tangent, but have you seen the Chief Bogo today?
Oh yeah, I have.
Okay, we'll talk about it later, but that's a card. That is a card. That's all I have to say.
It's very interesting what they did with the wording on that card. They made it really easy to use. I want to say.
Yes, but it's gonna bring a lot of love to one of the archetypes that wasn't seeing a lot of competitive play. So I'm happy to see where that goes.
All in due time.
Yeah, but that's set 8. It's almost here. We already knew quite a bit about it, even though we didn't have much of the cards. Then we got into set 9, Fabled, which is the set with the reprints, the rotation. They talked about that a lot.
A big turning point.
Big turning point. The next chapter, as they called it. And it's going to come with something that you'll probably be very eager to get your hands on. Well, first of all, it's coming out like August 29th, with full release on September 5th.
Yep. That's why I would say for DLCs, don't expect it like
don't
in
expect
August.
anything in
Like,
August.
it's gonna be in September or something like that, or later.
You're gonna be super happy to get your hands on the collector starter kit. So it comes with a little booklet of how to collect cards and a really nice binder of Mickey BLT, 4 packs of Fabled, and that Tinkerbell with the Mickey Mouse and Lilo treatment on it, the full steel treatment.
The frame, the extended frame treatment.
If it looks as good as the Lilos and the Mickey Mouse, like,
that's amazing.
this is going to be one heck of a card. It's also confirmed that Giant Fairy is getting reprinted.
Yeah, I was super happy about that. I was just like, oh,
I thought about you the second they said that.
Yeah, like having 3 enchanted of this, I was just like, "Youpee, we're in business here."
Yeah, that might be a good time to buy a few of those, actually.
Prices have gone up, buddy.
Have they? I haven't looked.
Just a bit.
Okay.
Like a bit. Like it's not a big movement, but still, like the announcement, I'm sure played a bit into it.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And also, like, I'm gonna like, I want that binder, that mini binder of Mickey BLT. It's just like a super nice callback for me of like the Golden Mickey. Like,
Yeah.
it's just way too nice of an art.
No, we'll see. We'll see how it fares, but it's a nice little side product that's gonna come. And they're bringing out a collector's product because they're bringing out a lot of stuff for collectors with set 9.
Uh-huh.
You know how we had commons, uncommons, rares, super rares, legendaries, and then
Enchanted.
Now we're gonna have 2 more of those.
Let's bridge the gap.
Between Enchanted, well, let me bring this up. So between Legendary and Enchanted, we're going to get cards that are called Epic. They're going to be a bit more common than Enchanted, but less common than Legendaries. When it comes to the foil slot at the end, they're all going to be in the foil slot at the end. And then, rarer than Enchanted, we're going to get iconic cards. Cards that represent the set. Cards that will not show up often. We don't have numbers yet as to, like, oh, how many of those are there going to be in like, how many packs will you need to open to get one and all of that. I'm sure people will do the math.
But it's going to be top dollars, that I'm sure.
What we do know is that there's going to be 18 epics per set, and there's going to be 2 iconic cards per set. The epic, the way they're going to look, is they're going to be, for now, the regular art. There was a heavy insinuation that we might get alt art at some point in the future, but with what they call the open air frame. So borderless, a lot more of the design, that nice, almost enchanted foiling on it.
It, you
Really,
know,
really nice presentation for those cards.
you know what these remind me of? Those pseudo enchanted we got in set 2 with the
Yeah.
D100 box set. These look exactly the same. Or from what I remember, like I know I have those in a box somewhere, and they look really, really, really close. I'm sure you have. Oh, you have one
It,
here. It's not focusing really
yeah,
well,
it's
but
not focusing, but yeah, like it definitely looks really close to that treatment.
it's like I said, it's almost the same.
Yeah, it seems to be what they took inspiration from. If we take the
Elsa,
Elsa, it's not gonna focus on it, but yeah.
yeah, you see the frame is kind of the same with like the stripe down the middle, the text really having like its own space with, and all the top of the card is art.
So that's gonna be epics. So they're gonna be more common than enchanted. So I'm hoping something like $1,
Yeah,
maybe.
that would make sense.
So 18 different varieties per set. We know of Elsa Snow Queen for the first one, which means that Elsa is getting reprinted.
More reprints.
And then there's going to be the iconic cards. So for Fabled, the box art is Mickey and Minnie on these horses. The two iconic cards are going to be Mickey and Minnie. They have the lore foil treatment, I think they called it, where there's like lore logo foiling on all the cards. It's the only cards that are going to have that. So special treatment. They're raised cards a little bit like the legendaries currently have. So there's going to be part of the ink that's part of the card that's raised a little bit. They have talked about it as being like really exciting. They showed it a little bit on camera. Hard to really appreciate it.
Yeah, you couldn't quite see it because they had to like hide the text.
Hide all the tags because we don't know what the mechanics are going to be for the card.
Yeah. Well, you see, it's gonna quest for 1.
Or more, because now we have cards that quest for 5 and it's just one lore pip with a 5 in it.
It's black though when it's that way. Like the lore thing
I
is
was mostly
black.
going to say it costs 3. It's not going to quest for 5.
Yeah.
3 inkable. But yeah, no matter what it does, like it's a Floodborn, so we know it's going to shift onto something.
Yeah. 3 costs that shift onto something. I'm really excited to see
That
what
that that in itself, like something to make us excited about. But yeah, those are the cards that collectors are gonna want to chase, for sure. This is the kind of cards that are gonna make people open packs, chasing for it, running for it, and that's gonna put a lot of cards on the market for players.
and I just noticed something, and I want to put it out there.
Yeah,
Because I was like this second years old when I noticed it. But you see how the Mickey has the same kind of treatment as the Brave Little Tailor, but now it's the Brave Little
he's the Brave Little
Prince.
Prince. Yeah,
Okay, that's amazing. I love it.
it's a
I'm getting
callback to
excited.
the first set,
Yeah,
chapter 2, but now he's the Brave Little Prince and he's a Floodborn. Because yeah, I noticed that yesterday. It's a really cool addition.
yeah, I love it. Good job.
And the other thing regarding rarities that they uh, brought to us, and I think this is the next image, I'm not sure, but is that some known cards that we know and love are going to get enchanted in Fabled. And the one
Yeah,
that we got to see is Honey Wizard.
which is like some might say an odd choice because it's a vanilla uncommon, but look at this art.
Yeah,
It
if you
looks
wanted
so
collectors to
good.
be excited, like, I do not care that that card is unplayable. I want a Honey Wizard enchanted.
Yeah, I'm sure like it's gonna drive the price just because the art is nice.
I mean, Elsa did. Like, it's barely playable, and it's one of the most expensive cards in the game in set one.
Yeah, so I won't be I won't be surprised that this is gonna be one of like I want to say the middle of the pack enchanted. Even though it's not mechanically powerful, it's still gonna go fetch a pretty penny.
And there's an addition on this card. I don't know if you've seen it,
The
but they
golden
made a
text.
change to the card.
Is it the golden name?
It's not the golden name. It's hinting that there might be something more coming with Winnie down the road. He might actually be playable someday. Because now he's a Dreamborn hero sorcerer honey.
I was reading the line and I was like, honey, what is that?
So we might get honey cards down the
Maybe
road.
maybe it's gonna be the shindig of a set or something.
We don't know. But yeah, they made changes to this card. There might be changes to other cards. But what are honey cards?
We'll see.
But
Stay
maybe
tuned.
at some point we're gonna have a whole adventure with Winnie. I would love that. I would love like a side quest of Winnie the Pooh, Honey Wizard in a set.
So wholesome. Like it's like everything Winnie the Pooh is like so wholesome that wholesome and sweet. Like honey.
But yeah, reprints. Reprints in Enchanted, reprints in regular frame, in epic frames. They took the time to mention that no matter the printing you have, all your cards are legit as long as it's the same card. So, Stitch Rockstar is getting reprinted in set 9. Well, your Stitch Rockstar from set 1 is fine. Your Stitch Rockstar DLC card is fine to play.
You mean it's a champ, yeah.
Set Champ, sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
not DLC, Set Champ. So, don't freak out. We were saying it earlier. Like, your cards will be playable against when there's reprints. They made that abundantly clear. No matter the version of the card that you have, as long as it's a Stitch Rockstar, if Stitch Rockstar is legal, you can play it. And we know now, thanks to the card that was spoiled today, that some of those cards are going to change arts. We saw Captain Hook Forceful Duelist being spoiled today for set 8. It's a brand new art. It's
Yep.
not the art with the lantern. I've heard divisive opinions on those. I personally like the new one, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so no matter the version you use, it's going to be legal to play. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. I just have to say, like, the original version is probably gonna be my version of choice. It's so again iconic. It was a D23 card.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a choice thing and I'm all in for that.
And
Like
the new one is way more hook. Like
yeah.
the old one, he's farther away. There's more open space around him. The new one, he's in your face.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm a duelist. I'm challenging you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm all in for that, for like that kind of expressiveness when you build your deck or something. Other games do it really, really well of giving you a variety of versions and not only like in different rarities, just like different arts throughout the story of the game.
And that's another way to express your creativity through your deck building.
Hmm.
Because maybe you'll just play with the versions that you have. That's fine. But some people like to put all the foils and all the enchanted, like you, in their deck. And I know other people who are really, really picky about which version of a card they're going to put in their deck because, oh, those arts speak to me a lot more and they represent artistically where that person stands.
Mm.
And that's, sorry, a really cool expression of creativity in its own way.
Yeah, so just a great thing again. More variety, more options.
And then they started talking about further down the line. By the way, I'm not spoiling it, but there's also some new properties coming to Disney with like set 9 and moving forward.
You said you're not spoiling it, but they talked about it in the stream. We can't
Yeah, I'm not
talk
spoiling
about.
it now,
Okay.
unless you want to.
Well, we can just name them to create a bit of hype, depending on how much. Because most of them is more of like, are you a really hardcore Disney fan?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
But no, for set 9, the big news was they announced that a Goofy movie is going to be becoming part of Disney Lorcana. So starting in
Powerline.
September. But yeah, Powerline's coming, and apparently, from what we heard in the post show, he's going to be one of the best singers in the game so far.
Ooh, replacing Ariel? That's exciting.
Maybe.
And like we've seen the art like for Powerline. We don't have it here probably, but like I love the whole big art that they had with where they're all like that for the eye to eye. Probably it's the song. I don't know if it's the Powerline art or they're gonna make eye to eye as a song playable.
Maybe both.
I wouldn't like put it past them, but yeah, I'm hyped. Like I remember that movie fondly from my childhood, and it's like just a good movie.
Yeah. And 30 years this year, so good moment to bring
Really,
it back. Yeah. 30 years of a Goofy movie this year. Sorry to break that
that
to you, man.
that like you see my white hair here, like it's just like popping out more now.
But then they got into the rest of the year. They brought us, again with one of Greg's best faces, into what's coming after Fabled. A
So
set that's a lot darker with new card types. The
whispers in the well,
Whispers?
whisper in the well.
Well,
That's
Whispers in the Well is the name of the set,
yeah,
but it's going to contain a new type of glimmer, the Whispers. Some people have theorized already it might be token cards. It might be similar to like something like illusions, like just a new card type. We don't know yet, but there's going to be something coming
yeah,
up with this set. And since it's mysterious, it's back into the Great Illuminary. That much we know. If anyone like me is looking at this art and freaking out for Venturo, in the zoomed in version, you can see it's just the tint on his glasses. He's fine. He's not turning evil. Because at first I was like, oh my gosh, Venturo's the next bad guy.
because it looked like he was possessed by Ursula. It looked like the entangled version of
Yeah, but no,
Glimmers.
it's just the tint. Like in the better version of the art, you can see it's just the tint in his
Okay,
glasses. So he's fine. Don't worry.
all right.
But no, we're gonna get a much darker environment here, and one of the things that a much darker environment enables is hidden in the far left of the picture.
And
There's a gargoyle there.
they've spelled it out. Gargoyles, the TV show from the '90s, is coming to Lorcana.
Gargoyles and the Black Cauldron are both making their way into Lorcana with Whispers in the Well coming Q4 2025. Love the art of the set name, I guess, like, but the way the W turns into the ink and everything.
Yeah, it's all airy and stuff, and like the backdrop is looks like the back of a card where like the
The ink
ink
is
color,
flowing.
the ink is flowing, but like it's really stony and like gray and
Gargoyle.
yeah.
Yeah, and then they left us with one last announcement regarding 2026, so even further down the road. Because, we have DuckTales, we have Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, we have Gargoyles.
They were
There's,
missing one.
yeah, we have Tailspin.
Yeah,
So there's only one 90s era, like Saturday afternoon comic that's missing. And it's coming 2026. We're going to have Darkwing Duck. Not the biggest fan of Darkwing Duck, but I
but
definitely know him.
it's iconic. It's so iconic that like they had to.
And as one of the biggest fans of Flagata Jones, more cards, well, I mean, proper cards of him to start with.
Yeah, because we
But
don't have any Flagada card,
we
right?
don't have him in the DuckTales set as of now. There's going to be DuckTales cards in this set, so maybe. But, like, I hope that with Darkwing Duck being here, we're actually going to get some proper, like, Flagata Jones cards.
And we say Flagada, but we have to say it in English for our English fans. It's
Oh, it's
Lunchback
Lunchpad
McQuack,
McQuack. Lunchpad McQuack. Yeah, sorry. I was like, is that his name in English? No, Lunchpad McQuack is his proper English name.
which is a great name in my opinion.
Lunchpad
Because I don't know why I was like caught listening to one of the old DuckTales movies like about a week ago. I
Oh,
don't
really?
know, man.
Which one? The
I'm
Secret of the Lamp?
Yep. I was going deep into that like Disney Plus uh catalog. Like I've been Disney Plus subscribee since day one. Now I've rewatched a lot of stuff and like this too. Like I saw that movie like what? Last time I saw that movie was probably 25 years ago, at
So,
least.
fun story from the guy who has bought like all the DuckTales and Chippendales DVDs back in the days and is really a big fan of that era. You know it's not actually a movie, right?
No,
It's the pilot.
really.
Yeah, The Secret of the Lamp is the DuckTales pilot. It's a 5 episode pilot that is one story.
Huh. That's cool.
It's
That's
really
very.
cool.
That's very cool. Okay.
It's really cool. It's one of my favorite. Like it's probably the best pilot I've ever seen in my life for any show. Period. The fact that they made a freaking 5 episode pilot is in itself a bit of a maniac move. But no, it's one of like some of my favorite shows of that era. Definitely, I love what they did in the recent remake of DuckTales of integrating Darkwing Duck like as an
Mm,
older character into there that was more of a TV show and movies um, sensation from back in the days. And now he's like
mm.
a has been
Well,
playing
washed
Darkwing
up.
Duck.
Yeah.
But really happy to see that coming to Lorcana. Really happy to see more IPs in general. Like, I, for one, wasn't super sure about Bambi. When they announced, I was like, okay, Bambi's coming to Lorcana. It's kind of a nothing movie. It's okay. And then I'm starting to see the cars, and I'm like, okay, screw that. It fits really well. I love it. It's
Yeah. There are some like great minds just working on how to integrate all these IPs to
yeah,
Lorcana. Like we're talking about 2026. Like we know we're gonna get Pocahontas and Pixar,
yeah.
like that they announced earlier this year, and like I'm just excited to see like what that's about. You know, like having getting
Who
like
knows?
the toys from Toy Story, The Incredibles, Cars. Like there's so many Pixar movies
We
that you
were
can.
we were theorizing on stuff with like kiddo yesterday about how you could integrate toys into this, and we came up with a very interesting potential idea. Because assuming that we get like toy denomination, right, similar
Mhm.
to illusions or to
Yeah,
whatever, we might get, and I don't want to be too MTG, but like humans for the sake of it.
huh?
And there could be a mechanic that toys can't exert if a human is on the field.
If not, the other thing I was gonna like, and this is still my MTG brain
Yeah,
talking. The toys can be like a dual face card.
it could be, but yeah, no, I was really more seeing it as like, oh, if there's a human in play, the toys can't exert
Huh?
because they can't move when the humans are watching, right?
That's fair. Like I was seeing it as double face card of like you have one side where the toy is an item, and on the other side it's a character, and you have ways
Yeah,
to flip it back and forth.
like you've done one of my orders for Magic today. You know what I'm thinking of right now, and it's not a mechanic I really liked.
Yeah.
It works really well in one deck I'm building, but it, it reminds me of what they did with Transformers, and it felt gimmicky. Like it was on par for what a Transformer is in Magic. It felt Transformer. I'll give him that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it felt a bit gimmicky, and I don't think it would apply as well to
Probably not. Probably.
toys per se. But the idea of there could be toy cards, and these cards could have very special interaction because of how they're supposed to interact in itself is something that I'm curious to see what they'll develop. Like, will they just be like, oh, it's Buzz and Woody and they're in there as is, or will there be proper mechanics around them?
We'll see. Time will tell. like, I think it gives us a cool segue into what I wanted to say. Like, they were advertising the stream from yesterday as the next chapter,
Yep.
and the future is looking bright. You're like, we're talking about it in the beginning of this video. Like, it's not, doom is not upon us.
It's
Like,
not. I'm super hopeful for Disney Lorcana moving forward, to be honest. Uh, the team that they've put in place, both on the design side and on the organization side, uh, they all seem to be getting control more and more of the great success that they've inadvertently stumbled upon.
yeah, because, like, I'm sorry, I'll have you run the numbers again. You were telling me during the pre-show, because, like, they said how many
Right, right, right,
cards.
right. I didn't say that. So they announced in passing that they have distributed over 1 billion cards. And I was like, 1 billion cards, that's a big number, but what's that really? So I started crunching the numbers. 1 billion cards is 83 million 12 cards pack. That's about 3.5 million boxes, like display boxes. And if you sell them at, let's say, $4 a pack at wholesale, which is probably not that far from what RB's getting, but it's a ballpark, that's about $333 million in revenue from Lorcana alone in under 2 years. So we're not in Hasbro territory of billion-dollar company for Magic, but
It's getting
this is
there
serious kind of printing and distribution, and
in
we can
one
really
year.
see how that
Two.
in a little under 2 years. But if they can get this team going, and I can understand with those kind of numbers, like I don't think anyone starting a brand new card game at Ravensburger was like, oh yeah, we're gonna sell 330 million, like 3.5 million boxes in the first 2 years, of course. Like
I'm
I
sure.
don't think anyone could have seen that coming.
Yeah, I'm sure they are themselves still kind of like coming to grip with these numbers and whatnot, because we're mathing really roughly here, right?
Yeah. We
But
don't have the actual numbers. Ravensburger is a private company. They don't share investors'
yeah,
reports, so we
exactly.
don't know the exact numbers.
Yeah,
But we
but
know that what 1 billion card means in terms of packs and boxes, and that's not counting the Japanese, like the Asian markets, where it's not 12 cards per pack; it's 6 card per pack.
yeah,
But when you look at the pricing, they come back to roughly the same as half a pack here. So the
it,
numbers shouldn't be that far off.
yeah. So it's still like a major, major, major feat that they've like attained within a very short span of time. So you have to
And it's a
say,
number that I will very gladly repeat to all the doom and gloomers saying the game is dead, everyone's leaving, it's gonna be worthless, except they sold 3.5 million boxes in 2 years.
I've seen one big post in the Quebec group. I've seen multiple posts in the
The worldwide group.
worldwide group. Like, people, like, I understand the anxiety surrounding a new game, and it's legitimate because there were so many games that started and just died after a year, 2 years, maybe like three. But I don't think Lorcana is there. Like, is
It's not headed that way for now, at least.
no, it's going up, not down. That's what that's what I gathered from it.
And I'll leave you on a short story that happened over the last week, I'll say, from the leaks up until today. We have quite a few players locally who came from Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Is notably an eternal format game. Cards do not rotate out of Yu-Gi-Oh! So they don't have rotation. If a card was printed in set 1 and was not banned, it is still playable today. That's how the game works. So when they first announced rotations, you could see from those people a lot of anxiety. What's going to happen? How's it going to affect me? what does it mean? Are my cards going to be worthless? And God knows Yu-Gi-Oh knows about their cards getting worthless. A lot of experience in that.
Even more than like rotating games,
Oh
But
yeah, more than rotating games. Like they know about cards doing that.
yeah,
They're
it's a
well
roller
aware of that.
coaster.
But today I got a message from one of those Yu-Gi-Oh players, and he was like, "I'm really starting to dig this idea of a rotation. I'm looking at the cards coming out. I'm looking at what's going to rotate out. I'm starting to theorize on what the decks are going to look like, and I'm excited about rotation coming." And that to me is really good news. That's what we want to see from people, and I think that this is what rotation is going to bring. For as much as it's a financial burden to a degree when a rotation happens, you have to rebuild decks if you're someone who runs the same deck set after set and just buys the parts that they need. Every year you're going to need to reinvest into another base of something to build upon. But if you're a competitive player looking to compete and not having a stale meta where, oh, it's red purple versus blue red every single set, a rotation is actually the best thing for that.
Like,
Because like
think
we're
about
seeing Trinidad is going to be like amazing on day one of rotation. Like they lose almost nothing and they're getting more and more tools by the day.
yeah, we were looking at it like this Monday when we were building decks for our live stream. And we were like, yeah, Steel Song is losing about 95% of its card. Like, and it's gonna be fresh. I love Steel
not
Song.
not knowing what rotates in.
Yeah,
Like but from what we know so far.
yeah. So like, I love Steel Song. I've been playing a lot of Steel Song, but it's gonna be fresh to just see that there's another mid-range deck of choice to play, like a mid-range value deck that will come up. Maybe it will be in other colors. Like
It might.
that's the other point.
Like singers are gonna get like don't worry. I'm sure Ember will get songs to pair with.
Mm,
Like songs are not disappearing from the game. Ember will get stuff to sing with its singers. What's it gonna be? How's it gonna shape? We don't know. But like today we got card draw in Ember Emerald. And I'm not saying like, oh, we got Julieta Madrigal. Like, no. We got serious card draw in Ember Emerald.
very good
Especially
card.
the way this deck is running right now. Like
Very powerful card also.
with a card like, well, I mean, Zero to Hero is rotating out, but with something similar to Zero to Hero, this card could come down on like turn 3 or 4 and draw a solid amount of cards.
So that's the thing. Like, and we're gonna see like, you know, blue green almost never got
Blue, green, blue,
split.
yellow.
Like blue yellow was good for a hot minute in set number one, and that's it. That's about
I
it.
mean, so was blue, green. That's what I was playing set one.
Sure enough, like it
Because you
was.
had the evasives and the wards and not a lot of answer to the Cusco. So you
Yeah,
could like rem to Cusco, put Cusco and a few evasives on board, and if they didn't have B prep on time, you won.
yeah, fair enough. So like seeing those color pairings coming back, especially with them building with like inventors for a few sets. We've gotten like some new ones today. It's gonna be interesting, and there's gonna be a lot of room to cook in the at the rotation. And this is a feeling that I feel not all of the Lorcana players have gotten. Like I've got that feeling from Magic year after year after year when I played Standard. Now to experience it with that game, which is totally unique, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. No, the future is bright. Seriously, I'm hopeful. They're not gonna hear it, but I would genuinely like to congratulate Greg and all the team that worked on the stream yesterday. It was good. It was entertaining. It was informational, of course, but they brought a lot of joy and happiness into it. A lot of love for the game that showed through. And while I'm 95% sure it was pre-recorded, it felt live enough to to be entertaining.
Fair
I
enough.
really enjoyed what we got there.
Yeah, like I remember rewatching the stream with sound this evening. I was still at work, but like end of the day kind of stuff, just doing my homework for tonight, and like I was smiling.
Yeah,
So like I couldn't help it.
the guy's contagious, and the team that helped him get this ready put a ton of work. They have said that they listen and that they keep watch on what's going on. It showed in this stream, and I really hope that they start. I don't want to say getting some slack because I know why people are stressed and are pressuring them. But now that we see that they're actually putting in the effort that they need, that they're hiring the right people, that they're getting stuff ready,
Taking the right steps.
yeah, I think they deserve some credit for the efforts they're doing.
People were overly harsh before yesterday's stream, and I hope they let down a bit. Like these people are doing a great job, and you get a sense even more so now that they're finding their footing. Like
Yeah,
they're getting there, and they understand what they have to do. Just like give them the time to adjust well enough to get us to where we like being, and I want to say
those like
deserve being.
the one thing we saw a lot in the I don't know if you saw the Twitch chat during the event,
Most of it.
but the one thing that like came back a lot and still today was posted on Facebook and again and again and again. It was, yeah, when's the judge program? Like, I'm sure it's coming. They're gonna announce the second round of DLCs. They've put someone ahead of competitive play. Again, we got to realize we were asking that from one singular person at first.
Yeah.
Now that there's a team, it's probably on their mind. But there's a. I want to be careful how I word this. There's an argument to be made about having the judge program in place before the second round of DLCs. But I can understand how the clamor for more DLCs has been a lot more vocal and seems a lot more core than the clamor for having a judge program before announcing anything else.
Mm.
So while I'm sure the judge program is coming, I can see where they're coming from in wanting to get the ball rolling for the second season of DLCs first.
It makes sense. Like,
Or in parallel.
yeah, because that's the thing. Like, they have some great judges. Not like there was that one happening in Australia that was not a great showing, and that, like, raised the question, and that's fine. That is totally fine. It was an issue with how things were run at that point, but you know there are some super great judges. I always forget his name. Albert, I think,
Hmm.
Bardelos. If my memory serves well, that guy is a class act. He was there in Atlanta. He knew what he was talking about. He was just like a great, great, great judge. He went on Zan's podcast to talk about it and to herald for that judge program. I hope he gets a hand in it. Like, you know, all the
Yeah, and
pieces
if
are
you're
there.
actually looking on Twitter, Ravensburger, go talk to Soundscorch. Offer him a job. Do something. I don't know who that person is, but like, you need them in your judge program.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a reference. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to our rambling that happened to be 1.5 times longer than watching the actual stream.
We want to run through it, and then we just like give opinions, get to story time and whatnot. So
Yeah, but no, thanks for joining us tonight. We hope you appreciated that. If you're still here at this point, I think you deserve to reward yourself with a like and a subscribe if you haven't done so already. Uh, this has been Drew. I'm Nick. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next week, and until then, keep questing.